Absolute party in Rajkot, and all the Indian batsmen, with the exception of KL Rahul, have cashed in. Ravindra Jadeja has a test century to his name at his home ground. You saw how much it meant to him, for a man who's often been at the centre of parody and caricature in the Indian cricket team. But what a revelation his batting has been in recent times since he returned to the Indian Test side. That's where it's finally ended. Virat Kohli has called the Indian batsmen in at 649 for 9. It has been hard work for Devendra Bishu and Roston Chase. 5 wickets between them, 80 overs between them. But hey, you have to spare a thought for the faster bowlers. This was not a pitch you would have wanted to be on for too long. Right, tea time on day 2 on ESPNcricinfo Match Day. Ajit Agarkar and Courtney Walsh to make sense of it all. What do two bowlers have to say when 650 runs are scored, where more could have been scored, where 400-500 more can be scored? I don't know what the thoughts are.
Yeah, not a great advert for Test cricket, is it? I mean, it's almost help yourself at the moment. Once West Indies didn't get any early wickets this morning, it was always going to be an uphill battle. Jadeja again proving why he's been sent ahead of Ashwin, who's got 4 Test hundreds. Proving a point again with another good innings, backing that one in at the Oval against England. So putting his name forward, especially when India travel, that usually that one spinner slot, is making a real case for his inclusion ahead of Ashwin. So real good opportunity taken, but just almost help yourself kind of session for batsmen.
I mean, we speak so much of how times have changed, Courtney. This is India's highest ever Test score against the Windies in Test cricket. It wouldn't have been imaginable in the time that you play that India would have scored 650. But just thoughts on the end of this innings and what would be the end of the misery for these West Indies fast bowlers for the last day and a half?
Well, the first thing is that they'll be happy to be off the field. Feet's up. It's been 2 tough days for the guys, the bowlers and the fielders as well. So they'll be happy to get a chance to go in the dressing room and have a break. The batsmen now, it's time for them to focus. But I think from a bowling perspective, they need to go back and reflect and see what they probably could have done better. It's a help yourself kind of wicket. Day 1, day 2. We see a bit of turn coming on. So I mean, you expect that to continue as the game progresses. So it's how the West Indies adapt to that when it's their turn to bat. But the bowlers should reflect, see what they do and how they can improve on that. And, they'll be very, very happy to be off the field because it's been 2 tough days for them.
Okay, let's talk about Jadeja. You made the point that there seems to be a suggestion from the team management, or a statement that you said that maybe he's being looked at as the better batsman. Ashwin's batting form has also slumped in recent times in Test cricket.
Yeah, I don't know about better batsman. Maybe they sent him because he's a left-hander, although at that stage shouldn't have mattered the kind of position India were in. Or he seems to be in better form. Got that really good innings in that last Test in England. Batted well in the Asia Cup, at certain stages. And maybe making a real case. It's an interesting one. I think we'll probably get a clearer idea when India reach Australia as to who their first choice spinner is, because you would think that they'd go with one spinner. And with the way Jadeja's batted in these 2 Tests that he's played, surely he's at the moment ahead as far as batting's concerned ahead of Ashwin.
And it's not like all his runs came slogging with declaration due. He started quite...
Yeah, I think the approach is quite refreshing. I think we've kind of associated Jadeja through his career, with playing shots and almost sometimes getting himself out, trying to play too many shots. The approach has been really good. Once they were 7 down, took a few chances, and he's got play spin really well. He's got a 100 at this ground in first class cricket, so knows these conditions well, and cashed in and got a deserved 100.
Yeah, just looking at his numbers at Rajkot, it is his home ground, and you saw that even in the celebration that it meant a lot for him. We'll just bring those numbers up for you. An average of over 100 in first class cricket. He has 3 triple centuries. I think only one of them is at this ground, 2 are away in the Ranji Trophy, but 111 is what he averages, Ravindra Jadeja. So maybe it was just for this special case that he came up a little higher up. You said it started to turn a bit, Courtney. He hit one off Devendra Bishu through the rough way. He didn't even get to the pitch. Forget the context of the game. That's he can play spin, can he?
He can play spin, and there's no 2 ways about that. I mean, he's a good striker at the ball. And just to add to what Ajay is saying, it's a good situation for India to have him batting so low down. And I mean, Kohli mentioned pre-match that he wants a little harder to contribute a little bit more. Jadeja's done the right thing. He's sending the right message. And it's always good to have that competition with himself and Ashwin in terms of getting runs. The only thing will happen is that it will serve India cricket better if both perform with the bat as well. So it's a good competitiveness to have. And Jadeja played a fantastic innings. He hit some clean shots.
Hard initiation for Craig Brathwaite, stand-in captain. But again, at times when we've seen Jadeja looking to farm the strike or try and go for his 100, could there have just been a little more proactivity, or am I being too harsh? Was the declaration just so inevitable that they were just waiting, the West Indians?
I think they were probably waiting on the declaration, so they missed a little bit of trick where they could have sort of dragged it out a little longer, let him work a little harder for that 100, bring the fielders in, shift the things around, maybe bring back a bowler, just to sort of play on his mind. You see how he got nervous in the 90s, but up until then he looked like he was in full control. So the West Indians could have probably tried to delay it a little bit, but I mean, on that batting track, once he's out there, he's going to get the run. So it was a tough one.
Shannon Gabriel, who we were giving so much praise to yesterday, has only bowled the 3 overs this morning, didn't bowl in the session. Just saving him up, could be a niggle or...
We'll probably find out later this evening. Isn't it? It might have been carrying, like Courtney said in the morning, might have pulled up a little bit sore this morning, a bit stiff. And after that, those 3 overs realize could be risk of an injury, and maybe protected him once India reached the stage that they did, because you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have him for the next test either. And that'll be real disaster.
If we are to speak of a larger conversation of just the quality of fast bowlers, we know 2 fast bowlers, very inexperienced, Kemo Paul, Sherman Lewis. What do you made of them, Courtney? Should we not pass judgment after this pitch, or do you believe that there are still things that they need to address?
No, it's a tough wicket to come on. I mean, for Lewis to make his debut on one of the flattest wickets around, he showed heart, he bowled, he ran in, he bowled, he gave it what he had. He will be better for the experience. Kemo Paul as well. I mean, they've only played 3 test matches between them, so it's a learning curve. And they'll be better. I think they'll be better cricketers for this experience. Not the ideal place to play. We all know in India, fast bowling over the years normally a little bit difficult, but on this surface, it was even more difficult. And they didn't have the experience of a Kimar Roach or a Jason Holder out there to help or guide them. Gabriel was the senior one, and I think they did well. In my estimation, I think they did well, and they would have learned a lot from this experience.
With the evidence of just 1 innings, but would they have been better served in hindsight with an extra spinner?
Again, it depends on what quality you have. You want to try and pick your best bowlers to play a test match, not necessarily just because the pitch is going to turn later on in the innings, just pick a spinner for the sake of it. If these are your 5 best bowlers, there were still 2 spin bowlers in that lineup. They couldn't create an impact. Best 2 days to bat. It'll be up to the batsman now to show that it's still a good pitch. Okay, there's a little bit more turn, but it's still a good pitch. It's the responsibility of the batters to show it's a pitch that you can get runs on.
Okay, let's focus on that then. As much as India might have dominated these first 5 sessions of this test match, 650 runs, Ajit says it's still a very good pitch, and the West Indies batting has significantly steadily been on its way up. Craig Brathwaite, Shai Hope, Kieran Powell have all put in noteworthy performances in test cricket. When you, as an opposition, when you've been put in the field, in the heat, 650, your batsmen can be a bit tired, but they can also take their own. We can get some runs on this too.
Yeah, I mean, okay, they're admittedly against a better attack without being disrespectful. I mean, there's a lot more experienced attack, a lot more variety in the attack with Umesh, extra pace, Shami, is in good form, and the 3 spinners. So it's a lot tougher sort of challenge for the West Indies. But it's still a good pitch, which, will Jadeja coming in at number 7 has come and got 100. Okay, against a tired bowling attack. But the pitch has been good enough for him to go and get 100. So that's the one thing that the West Indies will look at. If you can survive that new ball early on the openers, there are runs for the taking. Of course, once Indian spinners bowl on it, we'll know how much purchase there is at the end of this second day. But I still expect for at least another day for it to be a good pitch. Whatever turn we saw more from the rough than from the center of the pitch. But we'll have to wait and see when the Indians bowl on it.
Just looking at some numbers before I get Curry Walsh to also have a chat on this. The test will be the West Indies batsmen, perhaps against the Indian spinners, 3 of them in this test match. Top run scorers for the West Indies in test since 2017. Craig Brathwaite, captain this game, right up there, an average of just over 38. Shai Hope has played a match-winning innings, not once but twice in the same test match in England not too long ago. Roston Chase has got runs against India. Kieran Powell's not too bad. They're missing Jason Holder with the bat. There is a solidity now. There's a core to this West Indies batting, with a few guys having got some runs in the last year or so, Courtney.
Yes, there is. I mean, as I say, Craig Brathwaite, who is the captain of this game, he's been leading the battle the last couple of seasons and series. So he'll be hoping to try and get a solid start. Shai Hope has not been as consistent as we would have liked him after the England series, but we know what he's capable of doing, so that's good signs. Kieran Powell has not sort of find his ways yet either. So it's a challenge for him. And then you have two youngsters who are excited, they want to go out and play, in Ambrose and Edmire. So it depends on how well they cope with the situation. Doric as well, I know he's not mentioned in the stats with the bat, so they have enough batsmen, I think, if they get a good start to work with. But it would be, I think for me, it would be interesting to see the type of start they have and the approach they take and how positive they believe in terms of the counter-attack.
The key for these teams is often how they play or how well they end up playing spin when they come here. What's the best way to prepare for playing world-class spinners in their home den? They don't quite have the same spinners bowling to them in the nets. How do you prepare?
Well, I mean, you've got to back your skills and back your mindset in terms of being positive. Don't try to not to have a defeatist attitude, and you've got to just go out and play as well as you can play. If you get a good one that turns, there's nothing you can do about it. But it's no point in saying, well, okay, they've got good spinners and I'm not going to be able to score against them. That's not going to help you. So you've got to be positive. You've got to play what you see and back yourself. And I think, I mean, they've been playing against spin quite a lot in the Caribbean, and it's a chance now to do it on the international stage.
How soon do you expect spin to play a part in this Indian innings? Would you consider Ashwin opening on one
I think
end?
the seam bowlers for India have done reasonably well in recent time. Not reasonably well, very well actually.
Yeah.
So I expect them to get a decent spell, unless.
So start with both seamers.
Yeah, I hope so. I
The
think they've
left-hand
been.
batsman at times, Ashwin likes to take the ball and see what comes out
I
of
think
it.
there have been enough occasions where the spinner gets the new ball. That could very well happen for all you know, for a couple of overs from Ashwin. But I can't see too long that the seamers will get a spell if they don't get wickets. I think 4 overs each. If you think about it, again, very difficult to judge. It depends on what the seamers do because they've at the moment been in good form.
We often say that opening batsman is such a nice place to be in, at least in these days in Test cricket. This is the other side of it, where the opening batsmen probably have it the hardest. They're the first two that need to get out. They spend 5 sessions out. Big test of character, strength to just make sure they don't lose a couple quickly and just set that dressing room down.
Yeah, but I suppose that 20-minute break for tea would help.
That's all that the batsmen need.
Not really. I mean, I'm sure, the 649 runs way down on you in the heat. But that's what you prepare for. I think the preparation's done before coming in the test so that you're ready for these sorts of situations. So ideally West Indies would like a good start. That will set them up because it's a fast scoring ground. Like Courtney said, you want to try and play the ball on its merit, try and put the pressure back on the bowlers as well in spite of the 650 runs. And not unless you give too much respect to the bowling. You still have to put the ball away that's in your area of strength.
Craig Brathwaite's one of those few old school sort of Test cricket approach batsmen, isn't he, Courtney?
Yes, he definitely is. And I mean, they'll be expecting him to lead from the front. His concentration level has been very good. That's just proven that. Once he gets it, he doesn't give his wicket away. He puts a lot of pride in his wicket. So it will be the perfect start the West Indies will be hoping for from him. And as captain, I don't think he's going to sort of put that on an extra pressure on himself. He's just going to go out there and bat as well as he can. And if he gets a good start and can hold one hand up, the rest of the guys can play around it.
All right, we'll see how this goes. Thank you very much, Courtney Walsh and Ajit Agarkar. We will see the West Indies bat for the first time in this series against the challenge of India's spinners after heaps of runs have been put on by India themselves. Join us for our end-of-day analysis on ESPNcricinfo Matchday. Download the app to stay up to date with how this test match progresses.